Hello. Hi. Hi, Elena. Is the volume good? Tell me if you can hear me and the music, if it's not too loud, if everything is going okay. Hi. So hyped, so excited. It's going to be awesome. Hi. All right, let me share the screen. And I really need to figure out how to put the chat on the screen. The music's off. Hold on. Can you hear it now? We don't want to be musicless. We want to have our music. Music makes everything much better. No? Well, then I don't know. Then I guess we're going to have to be musicless. Next time I'm going to figure that out. Going live is always such a mystery for me, at least. I'm always like, what? What's going on? I think this is already like the 5th time I'm going live, and every single time there's something new, and I'm like, I don't know. It's a mystery. Well, now the music's off for me as well. Okay, it's back now. Anyway, let's get started. Are you ready to draw? Draw a lot. Let me pop out chat. Pop out. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that thing where we have the timer here. Ta-da! Maybe I can do it like an old person and put the chat here. No, I think it's gonna be too cramped. We're gonna leave it for next time. This time, it's just gonna be this and the references. We have some really exciting references this time. I think you're gonna love it. If you really want the music, I would recommend playing some music while you listen to me. Because for me, if I were drawing along, I would want to have music on as well. But unfortunately, everything is always such a mystery for me when it comes to going live. Okay, so today we're gonna do 15 minutes each portrait. And I think it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have so much fun. Are you ready? Come on, give me some. Woo. Oh, by the way, today I started learning Brazilian Sign Language. It's so cool because I have a friend in college and she cannot hear, so she can only speak with sign language. So we are learning it. You can do it, Elena. 15 minutes. I believe in you. Yeah. When we pause for 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you some of the stuff I've learned. Are you ready? We're going to get started. Just drink some water before. And we can get started. 1, 2, 3, go. I'm going to start by just finding the general shape of the head. I don't always start with the Loomis head. Sometimes, depending on the pose, something else might be better. Like for this guy, I have a feeling that a more angular shape would work better. Not because of him, like not anything specific about this guy, but about the pose. Just prefer it. We divide the head in half to find the ear. We can add his, oh, I wonder what's the name of this hairstyle. Well, we can add his hair. I really need to figure out the name now. Maybe when we pause, I'm going to look for it. And then, okay, his ear is here, but notice how I drew his ear and it's not in perspective. So let me fix that, show more of the side and back of the ear. Although this is still just the basic structure. But it does matter. If I had drawn his ear like a regular side profile, well, it still does look a little bit like a side profile. So let's change it. We select and reduce the width. And that already starts making things a little bit better. And then his neck's coming from close to the ear. We can add the bottom part of his chin. Let's see, on the reference, his ear is more close to his eye, so I'm gonna do it more like this. Be careful not to draw this as a side profile because it is not. So the nose doesn't go as far out. And yeah, just be mindful. Now I have this structure. I need to pause and look to see if it reads like the angle it should be. I don't think it does. So let's fix here and there with first, his brow was too much to the front. And then the placement of his eyebrow is going to help a lot to sell the angle. Remember, this is not a side profile, so everything here on his face, all the facial features will be much narrower, less wide, basically. I know it is narrower, but it just sounds weird. So we have this here. Let's see. His eye is way too high. Way too high. Let me zoom out. I'm actually going to fix it by... How am I going to fix it? A bit. Let's see how it looks. Better. Remove a little bit of the... We had some very strong corners here. I really prefer drawing with straighter lines. It just feels better. It's easier to show the 3D form when it's like this, when you use straighter lines and show more corners, because it's easier to see the 3D in a cube than a sphere if it's only lines. Okay, now I think he's better. Notice how tiny, like short, his mouth looks because of the angle. Today was the first day in college where we saw we're gonna have some drawing lessons. Today was the first one, and it was so exciting. It sounds incredible. I can't wait to actually get started with it. Because today, well, it was the first day, so it was more like the professor was just telling us about what he's gonna teach us, how he's gonna give us grades and judge, etc. But it sounds like it's gonna be so much fun. It's project-based, which makes a lot of sense considering the lesson, like the everything we're gonna be learning. We're gonna learn about graphite, ink wash, which sounds a lot of fun. I've had some fun with those a long time ago. I can't wait to get back to it. I actually really like traditional art, although I don't usually do it, but it's a lot of fun. It's also a little refreshing for me because I spent all day here in digital. So it's refreshing when I get to do traditional. And overall, we just gotta be honest, traditional feels much better in general. It's just a better experience. You know, you don't have to worry about pen pressure. It's already made perfectly the way it is. And I don't know, I just like it's kind of like ASMR, listening to graphite on paper and feeling the texture. Once in a while, I Google for this sort of texture for my tablet, but so far, no luck. They only do those for iPads and whatnot, at least from what I know. I haven't found one for a Cintiq, which is such a shame. I would love to have paper feel for this. Okay, he's basically done. We still have some 7 minutes, so we can clean it, make it better. Let me zoom out actually and see what I can improve. I don't like this shape here in the bottom of his back, so I'm gonna make it straighter. More like this, yeah. I have a feeling that my English will get a little bit worse because now I'm going to be having classes in Portuguese every day. So I'm going to have to actually work harder on my English, which is a good thing. Gotta stay top of the game, maybe? No, top. That's not because I'm learning Portuguese. I just can't remember the name, the expression. I think it is top of game, maybe. Recently, I've been thinking how I should maybe watch reality shows to learn more expressions. But I dislike them very much. It's not my type of show. So I don't know. I don't know what else to do with this guy here. I don't want to keep, we call it licking the image. You know, imagine a lioness with her pup. She's going to be licking and licking and licking it to make it clean, to make it pretty, to polish it. So we're basically licking the image. We're lionesses, maybe. I like his eyelashes. Like they're so full. Really nice. I think I'm gonna work a little bit more on his eyes here. Everybody likes some pretty looking eyes. Or even if they're ugly, but to make them the focal point. So let's do that. Oh, I had forgotten his upper eyelid. No, that's not good. I can even add some texture like this, some highlight to his eyelids. Yeah, I love it. Nice. I think I'm gonna hatch. Still have time. We can hatch. Actually, I'm thinking if I should hatch or improve the line quality. I think the line first. Like I have some scratches in some places of the drawing. Ooh, some weird lines. And dots and things I didn't erase correctly. You see that when I'm polishing, I just need to make a better line and then erase what's going outside of it. And it's really just doing and undoing. Makes it look better. Now I'm gonna hatch just a little bit, time's almost up. So I can only do a tiny bit of it, which is gonna be perfect for me. A little bit here and there, his nostril. Maybe the upper lip. Yeah. So we're back on YouTube. I like it, but the one thing that I'm not liking, I don't know yet how to change the microphone after I have started the stream. This happened on the first stream, I had this issue. And now the thing about you can't hear my music, well, which is not mine, but the music that I'm playing. That Spotify is playing, not me. Anyway, it's something about the mic again, but I can't change. Well, at least I don't know how to change with the same stream. I gotta find some time to make a private stream just to try this sort of thing. But now with college, I don't know. It's gonna take a while to get used to it and then find time again for stuff. Which makes me think, like, I keep thinking about my mom. She went to college when she was like working full time and then college at night and it was law school, and in the middle of this whole thing she had a baby, and I'm like, how did she manage it? I can barely manage my thing here, which is not nearly as busy as hers. Definitely no kids coming, at least I hope not. But it's so funny because I'm surrounded by kids over there, and they're all like 17. They're like babies, they really are. It's kind of interesting. At first, I was a little hesitant. I thought, well, how am I gonna talk to this kid? But 17 is not that much of a kid anymore. You can totally have regular conversations. Time's up. Pause for 5 minutes. Phew. Olena, are you still working on it? It's okay, take your time. You can always go back to do it later, like, yeah, when we're done with this live. You're resting, good for you. Yes. Okay, so now I can show you the sign language that I've been learning. So, okay, so to say hi is like this. So hi, and then doing like this is how are you? Which in Portuguese is everything good? So like this. Hmm. There's something about the expressions too, but I still need to figure those out. And then there is good morning, which is this. It's so cute, like, and thank you, and you're welcome. Isn't it nice? I'm so excited because I had been thinking about learning sign language for a while, but I don't know. We never do it until we really need something. At least most people, including me. What else did I learn? Also, good and great, like this, and then bad and awful. I think is like this. And you need to make this disgusted face. Like you can't just do this. You need to be with a disgusted face, which I thought it was so awesome. That's fun. I've learned a few things. I need to learn a lot more because how else am I gonna communicate with the girl? It's gonna be awesome. Ukrainian Sign Language. Oh, but did you learn it at some point? That is so cool. One thing that really got my attention is that they form their sentences differently from how spoken Portuguese forms it. And I didn't expect that. Like the word order is different. I don't really know how yet, but so it's a public college and they have to have a interpreter for any deaf students. So the interpreter told me that the word order is different. And I was like, oh, that is interesting. You learned a little of it? That is so cool. Oh, you have relatives with weak hearing. Yeah, that is very useful to learn it. Just a side note here, looking at the portrait that I drew, the ear is definitely off. This is the type of thing that I would easily paint, but I struggled with the drawing. Now I want to fix it, but I need to pause. I don't know what to do. I really want to fix the ear. Maybe if I add just one line here. And no, that doesn't work. I'm cheating. I shouldn't be doing this, but I just really hate the ear. Slightly better now. You always write to each other? Oh, nice. Like in real time, or do you mean that you exchange letters? In real time? Yeah. We did a lot of that today as well, since the girl, she was teaching me and I wouldn't be able to, I mean, I guess at some point I would be able to learn it, but it's much easier if we write and then she teaches me. On paper. We were typing on our phones. But I guess I would like using the paper as well. Okay, it's time to go to the second new layer, new photo, and are you ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. They released a new version of, what is the name? Of Clip Studio. And I can't wait to get my hands on it. I mean, I just have to download it here. but I learned about it like today, and so I still haven't had a chance to try it. When we turn this off here, the live, I'm gonna try it. Now let's draw this guy. He has a much harder angle. Let me think how I'm gonna draw this. I definitely made it too long, so let's fix this. Not like this, with liquify. I have this huge tendency of making it too long. Now let me just find the angles. Kind of like this. And then the hairline. His hairline is a little bit receding. No judgment here, it's just a fact. Now I think for this one, I'm actually gonna use a skull. Instead of just the Loomis head, I'm gonna get the skull in place here, at least the base of it, because then it's gonna be slightly easier for me. Hi, Kat! Woohoo! Thank you for coming. I'm glad you can join now. It was totally worth the sacrifice, as you call it. It's not that much of a sacrifice. I don't really use Twitch. I was just using it because people had suggested it. But since I saw it was not ideal for many people, we can come back here. Now, get to drawing. It's time to draw if you can. Get those angles in place. He looks like he's shooting his lip a little bit, or maybe his whole jaw. But it's somewhat hard to see because of the beard. I love his mustache. I love photos of people with mustache and characters who have mustache. They are so iconic. Although once my fiance, he he wanted to leave a mustache on, and I was like, no, how about no? Oh, but the mustache really helps here with the volume. Look at that. It's so funny that I drew the mustache before, like, his eyes. You know, I like starting with the structure, like his bone here and whatnot. But then I just like going to what feels stronger to me, what catches my eye more, which was first here, his very prominent eyebrow, and then the mustache. Beards are great for people who have, how do you call it? Is it a jowl? I'm not sure, but this skin or fat below the chin. If they don't like it, they can hide it. It's also funny how a beard makes the guy looks like older, much older. Like my fiance, he doesn't usually have a beard, and he looks like a little bit like a baby. But when he has it on, he looks older than me, which he is not. He is a baby. He's younger. Well, not an actual baby. He's like 27, but younger still. The beard has this power, which is definitely a symbol we created, because after all, kids cannot have beards usually, most of them. So we associate it with being a grown-up. It's like a woman with a larger chest. Usually, if a girl develops it too early, she looks more like a grown up because it's usually not what we expect in a kid. Which is unfair because some girls develop it earlier. Same with the beard. I had this friend in school. He started developing his beard when he was 10, which was a little unfortunate for him because the other boys would um, bully him a little bit. Not too much, but a little. More than it should, in any case. So now I'm removing the structure lines and just cleaning it. Now I've come this far without even adding his eyes. He looks like a statue a little bit. Is it just me? I think he does. His whole style is so interesting, like very strong. Someone who has like a very distinct style. Why am I spending time on his collar when I should be drawing his eyes? I don't know. I think I kind of like him looking like a statue. So I'm actually going to duplicate and then add the eyes. I just liked it. Don't forget to add that volume to his eyebrows. There's a lot of volume here. Pretty hairy guy, so mustache with volume, eyebrows with volume, long lashes. Those long lashes, they never look the same when you compare real life to a drawing. It's so interesting because we attribute so much symbolism to drawings. Today's lesson in like my drawing lesson in college, the teacher he spoke mostly about this, about the symbolism, about how basically everything we say, every word we create, it's a symbol. Every drawing, every image, we look at a photo and we say, oh, that's my mom, but it's not, it's a representation of your mom. And I was like, oh, that is interesting. This is the type of thing that I like about college. They make you think. It's nice. It really is a place made for that, for thinking and considering, debating. There was this one thing that the teacher said, the professor, and I was like, ugh, no, it's not true. But it wasn't really up for debate, so I was just quiet on my own. But he was talking about how he was like, well, does the language shape the person or does the person shape the language, like the culture? And it's like, obviously, the culture. But it's actually, it's a cycle and one creates and causes effects on the other. So people, of course, they affect how the language is. Yes, society created, but the first language you learn actually shapes your brain and how you perceive reality. But it was not a linguistics class, so I was just like, okay, not gonna debate that. He was just making a point anyway. He wasn't really actually talking about languages. Oh, I really like this guy. The drawing looks nice. I love it when I have the chance to draw people who are different from those like regular beauty standard people, which are fine. We don't no prejudice here against any person, especially not the pretty ones. But it's just fun to draw someone who is, and he is handsome, but it's just in a non-conventional way. That's what I mean. Hi, Kat. Let me just, we're gonna draw 5 portraits today. It's 1 portrait every 15 minutes. This is the second one. You can draw it to the best of your ability. I suggest you draw, like, you don't focus on one part. You can see that I'm not like, okay, zooming in on his eye and drawing a lot of it because time will be up. So draw as much as you can of the whole image, and then later if you want, you can go back and add details. Draw stylized, it's fine. I would recommend trying to lean a little bit towards realism, like don't rely heavily on anime style because it'll be harder to draw different proportions in anime, but it's up to you. It worked even if it's not realism. Let's add his earrings and piercings. Girls, I've started watching so much anime lately, and this, like, really, I don't know what happened. It's been a few years since the last time I was so obsessed with watching anime, but I'm having a lot of fun. I started a new one that I watched, like, basically, I just spent my whole Saturday watching it, which is Tamon-kun's B-side. Tamon's B-side, I think is the name in English. And the name in Japanese is Tamon-kun wa Imadochi. I think it's this, Imadochi. And it's so fun. It's a romance, but like a romantic rom-com, yeah. Like a rom-com. And it's this girl who she's super, super obsessed about an idol. And then by chance, she goes to work at his house because she's a housekeeper. And then she finds out because he's like super sexy, super I don't know how to say it, but you know, like very confident and very whatever. And then when she meets the real him, he's a mess. He's super shy. He's just a good actor. It's so funny. And they're really cute together. Although he's a little scary sometimes, but in a nice anime way where you can like ignore that this, if this were a real person, you would be scared and you just find it cute because it's anime. You know? I don't really want to add his beard, but okay, let's at least add some of it. Some guys are really proud of their beards. And I'm not gonna judge. Some girls are really proud of their hair as well. So whatever floats your boat. He definitely looks different now that I'm adding the beard. Oh, time is almost up. I think I prefer the drawing without the beard, but what is done is done. Time is up. Okay, we rest for 5 minutes and then we do the next 3 drawings. You join us on the next one, Kat. Well, unless you're drawing right now, which is fine if you are as well. I feel like mine, he looks a little bit like a JoJo character because of the long lashes. Anyone here watched JoJo? I know about it, but I honestly haven't passed over like the first 3 episodes because the first season is really, really bad. But I have a feeling that at some point it's gonna captivate me. There are many things that I have tried watching or reading a couple of times, 2 or 3, before I actually started liking it. Because I started watching, I'm like, ugh, I hate it, and I stop. And then a few years later, I try it again, and then at some point, I'm gonna love it. You like JoJo? I know how people who like JoJo, they are usually very strongly obsessed about it. And whenever I see any scene of it, like a screen cap or whatever, it looks super interesting and the design is crazy. And it feels like it's gonna be very crazy, kind of like One Piece, but on crack. So I have a feeling I'm gonna like it at some point. Sometimes I wonder if YouTube is gonna ban me because I say these words that I don't know if they ban or not, but I think not. But anyway, like the person drew, who created JoJo totally looks like they were doing drugs. It's not very regular or normal, but in a good way. I think it's good that we have these sort of very different creations. Definitely crazier than One Piece, yeah, I imagine. One Piece is like a little crazy. When you watch the live action, it feels crazier because seeing real people doing those things is insane. But in the anime version, it's a little bit more acceptable because crazy things are more acceptable in anime. Can you type again, Olena? Because I can't really understand. I think the maybe your phone. What do they call it? You know when you're typing a word and the phone supposedly fixes it, but then it's another word? Autocorrect. Yeah. I think there was some autocorrect over there. Maybe. I'll try to watch 4 or 5 part of JoJo, like part 4 or part 5. Yeah, some people say like, oh, the first season is bad, you should just skip it. But I don't know, maybe I'm gonna watch a summary of it on YouTube. It's like I really like One Piece, and I was watching it every day for a long time. But then I came to this season that I hated so much, and I haven't watched it in 2 years because I never got to the end of it, which is Thriller Bark, which I thought I would love because I know it's very, for those who ship Zoro and Sanji, which is my case, I know it is like paradise. But the season is so boring, annoying. I hate the character design, the zombies design, the villains design, everything hurts my eyes. Not a summary, JoJo's chart. I'm gonna try it. Right now, I'm really into romance. So today I finished watching one which is Betrothed to My Sister's Ex. It's cute. Not exceptional, but it was an alright watch. Yeah, different seasons can be watched separately. If I watch the second season without watching the first, will I understand it? Because the first one really, you know. Okay, time is up, and we can go to the third portrait now. Kat, you gotta join us. If you can, of course. Okay, so we have this lady here. We're gonna hit go in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da-da! Ta-da-da! Let's start with this lady. I realized that most of the references I chose were on like facing this side. I might choose different ones for our next session. But I don't know because I already posted the references on our Discord server, so I don't know. This one has the head, which is somewhat of a challenge. I want to see what you're going to come up with. How are you going to do it? The hair, we can see the ear. So it's not a very easy pose. Like, even though the angle should be very average, it's okay if it's a challenge because there's a lot of things we can't see here. Now let's get to her head. I sincerely thought of choosing like series and movie screen caps for this challenge, but I felt like maybe I would be just being too like self-serving doing this for myself because it would be the fandoms and whatever that I'm part of. So I decided to just find people on Pinterest, which in some cases backfires, like the accidentally AI woman we drew last time. So we're drawing her eyebrows. I gotta be very mindful not to make the face too long because that is my thing. Her nose, interesting. Her nose is covering part of her eye, but is not going outside of the face. That's interesting. Not that it would be a rule or anything, it's very common that when the nose, well, not necessarily. Never mind what I was saying, I was wrong. It's the other way around. When the nose points outside of the face, like if it were here, then it would be covering the eye, most of the times. Again, there's not many rules with a human being. We have 8 billion people on planet Earth. How likely is it that every single one of the 8 billion, which I don't even know how much, like, we can't even really imagine 8 billion. Anyway, I doubt that all 8 billion of us are gonna have anything that is a rule. Which is one of the reasons why I sometimes get into like, well, I don't really get into discussions, but I get upset at doctors because they act as if they knew everything about everything when it comes to the human body. But there are 8 billion people. Seriously, where does this confidence come from? How can you think that there won't be someone who is different from what you have learned? Oh, I love this. I don't know the name of this. I think it's a jowl, but maybe the jowl is here on the side. Gotta Google it. I like her makeup. I like her style, honestly. Recently, I went to this Texan style bar, which is it's not even nearby here. It's in a town kind of nearby. It's like some 70 kilometers away, which is, I think, like 40 miles, something like that. It was fun, and people were totally dressed for the occasion and dressed as cowboys and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I really need to get myself a hat. And, of course, the boots, etc. Because I like going to this type of place once in a while, but I'm never dressed accordingly. I don't really have anything to dress for the occasion. But what is so interesting about it is that where I come from, this culture, like this American culture, doesn't really exist. And then here, which is also Brazil, which is also so far away from the US, for some reason they have this really strong Texan culture in some place. I mean, very strong might be an exaggeration on my part, but it's definitely stronger than I would expect. The fact that I have a handful of bars that are specifically to play American country music, and people go dressed as folks like this with the hat and whatever, that is strong enough for me. But I love it because it is a type of culture I like. Both me and my fiance, we adore this type of thing. And back where we come from, we didn't really have a place to go and enjoy it. And now I do, which is great. Now, I think I made her mouth too small, so I'm going to select it and make it larger. Yes, larger and give more space between the mouth and then those. I actually, wait, let's put the mouth back where it was. The nose needs to be slightly smaller. Like this. Yeah, I think this one's better. And then, although we can't really see her iris because of all the shadow and the eyelashes and all these things, I wanted to add it here. Now, she looks a little bit like she's making a disgusted face, and I missed it, so I'm gonna do it now. We see the disgust by the way she raises her upper lip. It's subtle. It might even be something else, but it raises disgust. Which ties back to our live a couple of weeks ago about expressions. You know what's funny? I'm getting used to talking random things like this, and I'm not even realizing. I hope I don't say something I regret later. Because I'm not actively thinking, I'm just talking and talking and talking endlessly. It's kind of fun, to be honest. I used to be a major talker. Like, I would never ever shut up when I was younger. As a kid, as a teenager. Then at some point, I finally understood that no one cares. So I started listening more, which is a lot of fun as well. And it just makes all of my relations much better. We gotta listen more. Now I'm adding her pupils. Let me zoom back and think about it. I think I want to add just a little bit of her color here, just to locate her, like place her somewhere. I know it's not the environment, but if I don't even add the color, I feel like she's just a floating head. And if I do add it, I feel like it's okay. Just a crop of a portrait. Her eye's so light right now, the way I drew it. I'm thinking about how to make it darker. I don't want to really shade it, but maybe just a little bit like this. Yeah, now it looks much, much better. And then we add, oh, nice. She has so much character. I really like her. Now, this further eye here is, we can see too much of it compared to the photo. So I'm going to select it and just, let's push it back, back, back. Like this. Well, but now that I see her cheek should remain. She has a very, her cheek has a lot of volume. So just the eye like this. And then I fix this part. Maybe that's too much volume for the cheek. No, it's just the nose that needs to go further out. Like this. Yeah. Now let's fix the lines. Make them better, more polished, everything. Although I kind of like this rough appearance. I'm going to leave it in some areas and then remove it in some. So her upper lip, I'm going to remove it. I want it to be cleaner. Yeah, I think that's all right. I was going to say I don't like it, which it's one of the things I say the most in any live. But I actually kind of like it. Now let me show you something interesting. If we show her teeth like this, look how it can look very scary and too cartoonish. So I'm gonna leave it for the imagination. You can imagine her teeth being divided here. Usually we don't want to actually draw each tooth. You know, one of my favorite parts is drawing the eyebrows like this, adding the texture, and same when I'm painting. One of my favorite parts to render is the eyebrow. I think with such little effort, it can look so cool. And even if you don't change anything on a portrait, just by painting the eyebrows, it usually looks nice. And let me add her makeup. Not too much, like this. Is it too much? It is. Go back. Retreat, retreat. I can add this shadow here. Today in my drawing class, and the professor was like, he was explaining what we can do and the activities, etc. And he was like, well, if you prefer using digital tools, you can use it. And I'm like, no way. There's no way I'm gonna prefer using digital tools for a drawing lesson like this. Okay, so I started shading her head, but I'm just gonna undo. Time's up. Let me just remove this shadow and we're done. Okay, time to rest. Oh, okay, cat. Do the challenge when you can. If you have a paper and pencil, you can do it on paper as well. It's gonna be good practice. You know what's really interesting? Like there are so many different people in the world, and then today in college I found out that one of the kids, she knows Greek. Like she doesn't know, but she is learning because her father learned Greek and then he taught her. And I'm like, I have never met a person who knows Greek before. And I know maybe for you folks who live in Europe, this is going to be natural, but here this is so rare. Very rare. It's rarer than you finding someone who speaks Japanese or any Asian language like this, like the larger ones, Japanese, Korean, or Mandarin. Greek is very rare. I found it so cool. And then I asked, well, but where did this come from? Because, well, she started learning as a kid, but she could have stopped it. And she said that, yes, she stopped for a few years. But then during the pandemic, she was like, well, maybe I could get back to it, but why would I do it? And then she thought about it and she decided she would use it because so she can read the Bible in the original text. And I'm like, wow. Because I think John is in Greek, something like that. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Because recently I have been reading the Bible and I keep thinking about all that I'm missing because I don't know Hebrew or Greek and the languages that they are written in. So I totally get where she's coming from. It's always better to read the source, the original source. There's always so much that is lost in translation. Sometimes I have a feeling the translator is just not really good, but some things just can't be translated. Like, it just can't. So it's better to learn the language if it's something you care about. Rest your hands. Olena, you're drawing along, right? How are you feeling so far? Are you enjoying the portraits, the photos? Are they cool? I think they're really interesting. But what do you think? And Kat, you can, please, piece of paper and a pencil. Which reminds me, I'm gonna need some pencils in college now, and then, yeah, I forgot them at my mom's, my family home, way back in the northeast of Brazil, which is some 3,000 kilometers from here, about 2,000 miles. So I'm gonna have to buy new ones. Hey. Girls, are you there? Oh, you're on an Uber. Okay, then definitely it is. I'm so happy then that you have decided to watch and join. Thank you. Even though you can't draw right now, I hope you will do it later. You're seeing, like, it doesn't take too long. It's gonna be like an hour and a half for the whole thing, including all those pauses. If you don't have to pause, although I would recommend pausing even if you don't have to. At least after 2 of those, pause 5 minutes to rest your hands. Okay, Elena, sorry for disturbing. Time is up. Let's go to the fourth one. Oh, this is a challenging one. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, play. Let's go, go, go. It's go time. For this one, I'm gonna start mainly. Wait. So I'm drawing this, but I'm actually thinking it's the top of her head. Kinda like this here is this hair part that I see. And then I can make her face going down like this. I'm comparing the length like of her head, the top part, and then the bottom part, which seems to be about half like this. So I'm just gonna do this here. And then the fact that the shoulders come way higher up in this sort of angle. Let's think about what we're doing here. So I have the hair with the braids. So the hairline is around here. Okay. We have the hairline. Oh, I want to draw her braids, but wait, we gotta focus, Bruna. First the structure, then the braids. And then I'm drawing hair. Ugh. Okay. She has a very, at least from this angle, it's looking very slim and pointy. Now, when we divide her face, we can barely see the bottom. It's like tip of her nose is here. And then her eyebrows are around here. I need to push the hair back. We need to see more of her forehead. Something like this. Oh, but you know what's interesting about being like in this ambient with so many teenagers? There's a few interesting things, but one of them is just such a different perspective in life when you're older, because I mean, I'm not judging them. They act how I used to act when I first went to college, which is they act as if they were there obligated, like someone made them do it. And it's not. You're there because you want to. So they're always like today, the teacher, he liked talking a lot, but it was all right, I guess. And then when class was over, the girls were like, "Oh, he talks too much. I slept in class and all this sort of thing." And I'm like, man, I would never leave my home to sleep somewhere else. I mean, never is a too strong a word, but usually I wouldn't. But when I was younger, I would, definitely. I did it a lot, actually, not just once or twice, but a lot. Now, notice how the distance here between the eyes and the eyebrows is small. It's a small distance as well. Her forehead, I feel like it's still not too long. Now, Kat, I want you to do this challenge without 3D models. That's why it's a challenge. It will help you build the confidence. It doesn't have to look good, and you're not going to be performing live like this, so it doesn't really matter how it looks, but I want you to practice it because it will help you improve a lot. Okay? If you don't like the result, you don't have to post it anywhere. It's all right. You can do it multiple times. It's all right. But for this one, no 3D models. Now, why am I changing the size of her face here? It's just that I can see that the head, the hair part, looks too big compared to the face. So now I can do this. I'm always comparing the angles here and comparing like the negative space, where it touches, where it doesn't. Okay, so the thing is, you can use the 3D model if you really want to, but know that I very, very strongly recommend you don't, considering that I have seen your art. And I'm telling you this as your mentor. I would recommend you don't. One thing you could do is, what if you try it one time without the model, and then you can do it again with the model. It's just 15 minutes each time, so you can definitely do it more than once. And then you can do it again without the model again, because you have gained the understanding from the model. But I really wanted you to try at least once without it. Yeah, you can definitely do it several times. It's okay. One really great way to improve your art is to draw the same thing multiple times. Of course, not mindlessly, but trying to improve each time. Because then if you do it once and then you analyze it and you think, okay, why didn't work, or what did work, etc. And then you can do it again. And then you will do better the next time and the next. The more times you do it, the better you will get. Usually we don't do it because if we do it, like, let's say you make a painting and it takes you 10 hours to make, you won't usually have the energy or the will or just anything to do it again anytime so soon. But for something like this, 15 minutes, sure, you can do it again. Now let's draw her cute little braids. Oh, I love her braids. So beautiful. You know, once in a while, every few months, I'm gonna be like, I go and I'm like, whoa, I love braids. I want to learn how to braid my hair. And then I try it for a while. I really suck. It's so funny. It's so funny because you would expect that I would be good at manual anything, but I'm actually not. I'm only good at drawing when it comes to manual stuff. I don't really mind. I know that if I practice, I will improve on the other ones as well, just like I did with drawing. But it's funny. Usually, I can't even try for a long time braiding. It just hurts my arm so much. I don't know if it's just me, but it hurts a lot. And it's not because I have the repetitive strain injury and whatnot. It's always been like this. It might be just because I'm not used to it. It probably is. Now, I have no idea what is happening back here with her hair. I have a feeling that maybe it's a, what do they call it? Bun? Maybe it's a bun, but a really messy one. Oh, the funniest thing happened today. There was this girl next to me, and so the um, professor, he was explaining what tools we were going to use, right? And I was writing down what he said we were going to use, like an 8B pencil and whatnot. And so I wrote it down. And then she looked at me and she picked up a pencil and she's like, one like this, like showing me what an 8B pencil is. And it was kind of cute, but also kind of what? Because she didn't know that I'm actually an illustrator, but I'm like, did she assume that just because I'm older, I wouldn't know what that is? When actually, I think older people know more about traditional stuff than younger people. I don't know what it was, but I was like, okay, thank you. It was a little weird. Now I'm pushing back here because I realized her chin was even smaller because of the angle. Now let me look back to it. The side of her hair has too much volume and it's too rounded in a weird way. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it more like this. All right, Kat. Good. Do give it a try. Post it on the group so we can see it. It's gonna be great. Now let's add some lashes here. Lashes can actually help a lot with showing perspective. Lashes, nails, they can do wonders. Now, okay, I think her eyebrows are not low enough. They're not close enough to her eyes. Maybe more like this. Maybe. And also here on the back, on the outside of it, it goes up a little bit more than what I did. Now this is a type of pose. One of the reasons why it's such a challenge is because, okay, going back to the symbol thing, we create symbols for each part of the human face and for anything that we see a lot of or we draw a lot of when kids. Just like we draw the sun like this and a heart like this, these are just symbols. And the same with the eye. When we draw an eye like this, that's a symbol. So we have all these symbols we have created in our minds for how a person is. And what is hard about this type of angles that it forces us to actually see things, which is the hardest part of painting or drawing or anything art related, is seeing reality. Because the brain, it just filters everything. So one thing that was really cool, so today, okay, we had lesson and we have this girl who cannot hear. And I arrived early and so she did her and I said hi. And anyway, we started talking. I asked her to teach me a little bit of sign language. But what was really cool is that then other girls arrived, and I was like, hey, hey, look, she's teaching me this. And they also wanted to learn. And I was like, oh, these people are so nice, because I reminded that, I mean, not only because of that, but I know people can be really mean to anyone who is different in any way. So I was really, really happy to see that. Like during lunch, they were like, hey, calling her, come have lunch with us. And everybody trying to communicate with her. And we would say something and then type it so she would understand. And I don't know, I guess because I have a feeling when I was in college, which was many years ago, people wouldn't do that. People were a little bit meaner, I think, when it comes to this sort of thing. And it made me really happy to find out that society has improved in this regard. Okay, time's up. 5 more minutes. We only have one more to go. I don't think the last one is going to be the hardest one. I think we're past the most difficult part. I don't know if it's this region where I live in now. I have a feeling people are more thoughtful of other people. I don't know. But for example, I went to the beach with some friends here a while ago, and I have this very restrictive diet that I have been doing for a while because of health reasons. And then I was with these friends who are not very close to me, and they've really accommodated my diet to the food, like for everybody. And I'm like, you don't have to do it. They're like, no, 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 no way. We're not gonna let you do this alone, you know? And I was like, wow. I don't think my friends from my hometown would do it. And it's not anything wrong about my friends. I just, not only them, but when I think of other groups of people in my hometown, I don't think they would do it. So I'm under the impression that people here are more thoughtful, but it might also be just some random bubbles of people that I met. I don't know. I can never speak for an entire population. Elena, you would love this college that I'm going to, because I think, well, many reasons, but I think you would love that. So in this expressive drawing lesson, we're gonna have perspective, which I know you love, and then we also have a geometric drawing class. I just think you would like all these technical things. I'm actually looking forward to it. Yeah, right? It's amazing when people support and care. I agree. Yeah. I'm so excited for college, actually, which is so funny because so last year around January, I was like, oh, I want to go to college. And I just had this idea. But there's a whole process to joining college here, which is around May or June. I don't know how to say it, but you pay for it and you say, hey, I'm going to do it. And then the exams are around like October, November, and December. So in January, I decided. And then by October, I was like, ugh, I don't want to do this anymore. But I had already paid for it, and I already said I would do it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it, because if next year I change my mind, which would be this year, 2026, I will have already done the exam again. And then I did, and I passed, and I was like, I don't want to start college. It doesn't sound like a good idea. I really don't want to do it. And now I'm just like, this is amazing. I love it. Yeah, studying in school. The reason why I was so hesitant is because first, it really gets in the way of my routine, my work. Now I think I'm gonna work like 3 hours per day now because I can't. I don't have more time than that, which it's gonna be all right, but not very easy. And then I was a little scared of dealing with teenagers. Not scared that they would do something to me, but more like afraid that I would hate it if they were annoying. But they're really nice. Now I understand because when I went to college the first time, I was 17 and I had this friend who was 27. And I was like, how can you be here around it with us teenagers when you're much older? And he was like, it's not that hard. And then like last year, I was like, Lucas, how can you do it? I'm gonna have to deal with teenagers and I don't know how. And he was like, it's not that hard. And now I see that he's right. The kids are fun. They're all right. Time's up. Let's go to the last one. Create a new layer. As a person who studied 6 years for now after university, you can understand completely. Yeah. 6 years is a lot of time. So this is our last reference. How cool is this man? Wait, let me just zoom in and see if it's not AI. Okay, the ear is all right. Yeah. The beard makes sense. I don't think it's AI. Okay, we can we can continue. Let's do this. Select the pink color I like to draw with. And then wait, zoom out a little bit. And let's go. How am I gonna do this one? I think I'm actually gonna find the shape of his headpiece. And then the shape of his face, including the beard. I'm mainly looking at shapes here. I keep looking in being afraid that I'm gonna see something AI in this image, but I don't think so. Okay, I'm gonna trust it. I hope I don't find out too late. Because usually when I really get into details, it's when I notice. Then we have his his shoulder, arm, and okay. General shapes are here. I think I'm gonna find the shape of his forehead. And then his nose. Maybe you're watching, you're like, Bruna, why are you drawing this one so different from all the others? And there's not really a reason. There are many, many ways you can start a portrait. And it's good to know several of them because then you can choose the best one for each type of portrait, the one that suits your needs at this specific moment. In my case, this one is just, the shapes are really calling my attention. Recently, I've been feeling a lot like I want to get back to reading manhwa. I just can't because of my hands, but that's why I'm watching so much anime and like romance anime because it makes up for it kind of makes up for the comics that I can't read. It kind of makes up, but it kind of doesn't. It's a different medium after all. Okay, his nose is in place. Oh, he has, we can't really see his eyebrow, what's happening. I'm not used to drawing older people like this, so this is a great practice. Great, great, great practice. His tiny eyes. There are some things that are very typical of when you become older. So like, because the skin falls on top of your face and the collagen is like dropping and the fat around the face reduces, and that makes everything just kind of falls down a little bit. And then that's why the nose looks larger. It's like gravity is pulling everything. The eyes become smaller because of all the skin on top. And because also the bones, they erode with age. So the eye sockets become larger. There's a lot happening here that create this older appearance. The droopy eyes, very typical. So it's not just adding wrinkles to make someone look older. There's all this structural change. One instructor who's really good at this is Istabrak. She's amazing at this. If you want to learn about like how to draw older people, I would recommend watching her channel. She's really good. I like his beard and the mustache as well. They're so curly and kind of wild at the same time. You see like his eyebrows? There's hair like coming all the way to the middle of his eye. It's crazy. Let's not forget the forehead wrinkles and how they change the shape of the eyebrow. Like this wrinkle here, it pushes the eyebrow here and then here again. Now, mine looks a little sad, and while the original one looks like he's laughing. I'm gonna have to take care of it later. Right now, I need to first prioritize all the structure. Or do I need to? I need to think about it. Maybe I want to focus more on his expression here. Yeah, I'm just gonna spend a couple more minutes on structure and then getting the beard in place. Okay, why does he look like he's suffering? I think it's because of all the wrinkles. Well, definitely is. Because in the real one, like the photo one, the wrinkles, they are like part of him already. It's not because of any expression he's making. But in mine, it looks like it's part of the expression. So let me just improve this a little bit here. Or maybe I'm just gonna leave it. I don't know. I don't like how suffering he looks. Also, his beard should be larger. So let's push it back like this, push it down. The large ears. When I was a kid, I was always a little like, I don't know, I just kept staring at my grandfather's ears because they were so large. But it's just how age affects us. For the headpiece, try breaking it down into like simpler shapes, and then you can add all the little folds and whatnot. Like I'm doing here. It's kind of like drawing hair, but it's actually simpler because it is more delimited. So you can see what's happening better. I wonder if it's easy to wrap this around your head like this. It looks very complex. I don't know. But like anything, I guess with practice it becomes easy. I think I'm going to push more of the bottom to make it look more like he's smiling, and also push his mustache as well to show the smile. So if we push this up, and then this up. Okay, now he looks like he's smiling but frowning, which is weird, but is the case here. Like he kind of looks like he's looking at the sun on the original photo. Oh my god, I erased his eye. Let's go back to it. Oh, this eye shape is much better. Okay, let's get this one here now. Let me just add some of this shadow here. See how it looks? Yeah, all right. It's a fine line between lines of expression and wrinkles. I don't know why I said lines of expression instead of expression lines. But that happens sometimes. Alrighty. We're almost done. I think I'm done with this guy, actually. Just gonna work a little bit here on the headpiece. I think 15 minutes was a good amount of time. Last time we spent too long. And I know it is a challenge, but well, it is supposed to be a challenge, right? So, good. If it's been hard, good. This is actually rather fun. I think I haven't drawn this type of headpiece before. I'm actually enjoying it. Just gonna add some more like depth to the lines in some areas that I want to make them stand out some more. Okay, time's up. All right, all right. Let me just save this before I lose it. And actually, I already gotta go, girls. It's time. We're right on time. Let me just see what happened here. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you so much. Thank you. I gotta go now. Thank you for coming, for those who did. And I'll see you next time. Okie dokie. All right. Bye-bye.